Hi everyone, I'm going to redo my SFX pour today. So that's my do-over for 30 days 30 pours. I'm just mixing up my temperature reactive pigments here. I did make this pour before and it was successful to a certain extent, but I used this Americana Gloss Enamels Coral Blush, which I think is discontinued, and it just took everything over and made it kind of muddy. And then I smudged both paintings while they were drying, and I tried so hard to protect them and I just completely failed. Anyway, I think that this as an idea, as a concept, this has got a lot of potential, and I would really like to see what happens with it. I've only got a canvas that I can repaint over here, so I'm going to try and use some maybe metallic opaques to form a base over the black, and then some prism violet, phthalo blue, quinacridone magenta and phthalocyanine green, as I always do, and kind of make a pour that is more akin to what I would typically do, and then add these pigments on top so that there's less going on and I'm not pouring across two canvases. Because that last pour, when I started it, if you look at the video, the top canvas at this side of the shot looked amazing, and then I dripped all over it. Let me get the canvases that I did before and I'll show you what they look like now. So they've changed quite a lot. I'm going to have to zoom the camera out. There we go, I think. They've changed quite a lot. There's two of them. I can't even remember what way they went together really. There's maybe like that, I think. And you can see, whoops, one there and one there. And let me show you, when I've got a UV flashlight here, and you can not only see it glowing, but you should hopefully be able to see, can you see this area change colour? And I think there's some around here, yeah. And there's some sort of sprinkled over here, so it's getting darker. Over this purple, there's a lot of UV reactive pigment in there as well. But the coral, unfortunately, made everything muddy. I overworked it, I smudged it, it's got all these horrible bits of texture in it. And it's such a shame because it had potential, it had a lot of potential, and I messed it up by overworking it. Right, I'm mixing up these pigments here. These are the temperature reactive pigments. Now what I'd like to get would be something that's more like this. This one, let me think, which one was this? That one you just saw was my floating cup, and that has got a nice bright base, and it's not got too much muddying where the colours have mixed with each other. Now I've chosen these 3 UV reactive pigments. All of these colours that I've been using are nail powders, and I got them from like eBay or AliExpress, I think, somewhere like that. Anywhere that sells nail powders, you should be able to buy this kind of stuff. So I've got a UV torch here, but they do react, as I showed you in the first video, they do react in just hitting the sun. So the idea is that on a sunny day, these colours should come up. And if it's hot and sunny, rather than like winter sun, these ones should go white. So there's kind of a kind of balancing effect, or like a seesaw effect, depending if it's sunny and hot or overcast and hot. Hot at night will look different to hot in the sunshine. So there's should be some interesting things happening with the painting. But while it had potential, it was horribly overworked and horribly overpowered by that coral blush, which is a great paint, but just not for this pour. I think I'll use what's left of this Extreme Sheen Deco Art 24 karat gold. That one's nice and shiny, and I will just use it out of the bottle, I think, because there's not that much left in there. So I'm going to put some pouring medium in here and mix everything up in the bottle to try and get the most pigment out. Right, I've got that Extreme Sheen mixed up in the bottle, and as I often do, I'm going to add some of this Turner Neo Colour Gold Pigment Powder. It's called Red Gold in Japanese, and when you torch it makes gold flecks over everything. That should be enough of that. Just put that together and shake it up. in an attempt to make this go better than it might otherwise do, I'm going to try and do a tree ring pour, because that tends to be my best kind of pour. This is some watered down milk paint. Haven't used this before. It's got an acrylic base, and it's this one. It's called Natural Beige. It's from the Daiso, which is a dollar store. I'm going to look up the ingredients later, but basically it says that it's got acrylic in it as the main part of the paint, and then it's got casein, which I think is casein, which is the reactive milk protein. So be careful if you've got a milk allergy, if you're using that, or dairy allergy. Oh, I should take this stick out, shouldn't I? Don't know what I'm doing today. I think I'll put in some green. Some of my gold, some more whites. This is a very watery cup. I might have to turn into a dirty pour. I'm going to put some Prism Violet in there. Okay, right, this is full to the brim. My specialist paints are mixed up separately, and I will run those through the pour just after. Okay, so the plan is to do my ring pour, and if that goes really horribly wrong, then I won't waste my SFX paints. I'm going to put them on top. They're kind of gritty, they don't blend that well, and I think they might sink to the bottom and get completely lost if I put them in my cup. So these are the colours. We've got a kind of magenta, a blue, an orangey purple, and this one's a sort of lemony, greeny. This one's quite pale. Okay, so the orange is quite good. The yellow, I remain unconvinced about. I might not even put this in. Doesn't seem to be doing much. I think there may have been a little bit of paint in the cup. I'm going to leave this one out because it's not doing enough for my liking. Right, I'll put these three down, and the red, pink and yellow thermoactive paints. Okay, hope this goes okay. It's really watery. Right, the gold looks lovely. Let's have a bit of a tilt around and see what we can do. Not going to be able to move this much because it's so watery. Okay, I like the bottom, I don't like the top, so I'm going to put some black acrylic on and let that fight with the ring pour. Just going to put some black paint in and water it down a bit. Okay. Yep, liking that much more. Okay. I'm going to see if I can just stop this. Oh, I think that's going to go off no matter what I do, isn't it? Okay, yeah, I'm happy with this. So I'm going to put my colour reactive paints on and try and think about where to put them. So I've got some so now I need to make some decisions about where to put my colour reactive paints on. I think I will start with this thermoactive magenta because it's quite similar to some of the colours already on there, and I'll try and I guess put it in bands in places like this, where when it's white it will match the background and when it's dark it will match the colour next to it, and it will create quite a subtle change because the yellow and the blue and the orange are going to create far more dynamic changes. So it's nice to have something in there that's a little bit more subtle. So let's start off here. And put some here and here. Okay, I think I may need to blow these around a little bit after because they look very obvious at the moment, which I wasn't expecting them to look quite so obvious. Right, this one is a UV activated paint, so I'm going to put some of it next to this. I've blended in with this heat activated paint. See what happens when they go on top of each other. Let's put some down here. I do think that this lends itself to a tree ring because you can make bands of the colour. I think in a dirty cup it would be really difficult to get it to go into the painting in a way that doesn't look really fake. Obviously at the moment it does, but I'm going to hopefully finesse it a little bit. Now I think this one goes blue. Yeah, this one goes quite a dark blue. So I can see some blue near the edges here. And I can actually see some dendrites here, so we'll see if I put some near the top here, around the edge of it, if it will hopefully form some dendrites for me. That would be lovely. Just got a little bit of this left, so let's put some down in the corner down here. So yeah, I've almost finished with my pours. I've been happy with what I've made by and large. It's definitely been a challenge. The timing as much as anything else has been a challenge. You know, finding the time to edit, finding the time to get decent ideas, pick up materials and just sort of do the normal work of living life that we all have to do. I mean, I don't have kids or anything, so I'm quite lucky in that respect. I've got a lot of free time compared to a lot of people, but I've still found it challenging with a full-time job. Okay, I think this one's pink. Yeah, this one's like a magenta purple colour. But it will be white for much of the year, because unless it's getting hit directly by the sun, it will be white. So I will put that over some whiter areas. I feel much less panicked about what's happening with this picture than the last SFX pour that I did. I was so excited about it. That for me was like the one that was going to be the best one out of the whole 30 days. And it really did not. You know, I had plenty of others that didn't go well at all, like the ribbon pour or my underpainting. There were unfortunately a lot of candidates for do-overs, but it was the SFX one that I felt the most let down by, because I'd gone to the trouble of getting special materials for it. I'd given it more thought than the others, and I'd sort of visualised the process of making it much more than the others as well, and I felt like I'd not done it justice and not done myself justice at all. Now this yellow has beautifully picked up some pearlescent pigment from what was in the cup before, and it looks lovely, so let's just chuck that on. I'm going to give this a quick go over with the UV light so we can see what's happening when it's looking colourful, and you can get a preview of what will it look like if the sun's hitting it in the summer or the winter. Okay, it's quite busy, isn't it? Right, let's put some of this over here. Very busy. This yellow might help tone it down a little bit even. I definitely think this is the way to go about laying these kinds of colours on. Right now I just have left this dark blue, and I think I'm going to use this very, very sparingly, just one or two little bits hopefully, because I think it's just going to be a bit too much for that. Then I'm going to go in with some gold and a straw, try and blow around a little bit and put back in some of that nice gold that was over the top initially. But I think what I need to do now is torch actually. So you might see the thermoactive, yeah, thermoactive paints are reactive now. So on a summer's day it's going to be white. Hang on, let's see if I can get the effect of a hot summer's day. Right, so if this is in the sunshine on a summer's day and it's sitting in a sunny spot, it should hopefully look a bit like this. That's quite interesting, isn't it? Lots and lots of different stuff going on there. I seem to have lost almost all of the gold that I put down, so I'm going to get a little bit of my extreme sheen mixture that I made up earlier. I'm going to drizzle that in some places, try and make it look a bit more like marbled geode style, and have that hopefully holding it all together a little bit more. But I like pretty much all of it except this bit, so I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit of gold powder on that. Call it a day. Quite a lot. Okay, I think I'm done. I like this better than the ones that I did before. I still think it needs a lot of work. There's a lot going on with the colours, and I think what I'm going to do is try to order larger quantities of 1 or 2 light changing and heat changing colours, and use those to create a palette and stick around that palette, because at the moment I've got all kinds of rainbow stuff going on and it's too much really. And the metallics cover the floor, but then that's another thing that's going on. I'll take you in for some close-ups. I'm going to call this done. This is my do-over, and that means the next pour is my final pour, which is personal best. Thank you very much for watching 30 Days 30 Pours with me. If you've got any questions at all, please leave them in the comments down below. If you like my content, then please give this video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. Once I get to 1,000 subscribers, I plan on going live fairly regularly, which will be a really nice thing for me to be able to do, but I can't do that until I get 1,000 subscribers. So please, please, please do think about subscribing if you like my content. If you'd like to follow me on Instagram, my Instagram is Tokyo Makes. I've not been uploading there much lately, but normally I kind of put a picture or 2 of most pours that I do on there. So once again, thank you very much. Take care everybody, and I'll see you for the final 30 Days 30 Pours challenge on the next video. Bye!